Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is your man, Big B. So it's been a whirlwind here the last few days in football in general. But let's start with Nick Saban and let's talk about Nick Saban, him retiring from the University of Alabama. Nick Saban, to me and to most people, is the greatest college football coach of all time. Some people are going to argue that point, but for what he did and how the landscape has changed over time and him still being at the top of his game, to me, I don't think it's even a debate. Nick Saban is the greatest college football coach of all time. Now, let's take a look at some of the things why he may have retired. There's some personal reasons that I'm not going to touch on because that's not anybody's business. And if you do try to touch on it, I think you're tacky. Let's leave that alone. A lot of people are saying that he left because, well, the landscape of college football and college football ran him out of the game because of NIL and the transfer portal, and you're having to build a new team every single season, and it's become, like Major League Baseball, and it's professional. A lot of that's true. I don't know if that necessarily ran him out of the game because Alabama was doing just fine at it. I want to take a different approach. Nick Saban is 72 years old. I'm not here to tell any 72-year-old that you're old. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is at 72, most people are retired. Most people have retired by the time they're 72. Now, let's take a look at Nick Saban. 72 years old, filthy rich. He's made a ton of money at the top of his game. Maybe he just said, I'm done. Can't that be the answer? I know we have to look for, the controversy because controversy sells. I get that. But can't we just look at something called reality and just say, well, if the man's rich, he's at the top of his game, he's done it for 50 years, maybe he's just decided, I'm done with this. We don't have to always sensationalize everything and say that college football ran him out of the sport. I'm not saying that that's not the case, but why can't we just look at facts and just deal with that? Nick Saban is a great football coach. He's not falling off. Hell, Alabama was a play away from being in the national championship game, and I think they'd have beat Washington too. So it's not like Alabama won 7 or 8 games this year. And a lot of people, myself included, would say this is one of his better coaching jobs because he doesn't have a spectacular quarterback. He doesn't have a spectacular offense or defensive line that's just knocking people and shutting people down. That wasn't the case with this Alabama team. Nobody was saying that this Alabama team was one of the greatest teams in Alabama history. Like, he's had several of those. Nobody was mistaking this team for that. But here we looked up at the end of the year. He beat a team that a lot of people said couldn't be beat in Georgia. He won the SEC title and, again, was a play away from the national championship. All I'm saying is let's not always look to sensationalize everything. Let's look at reality sometimes. Maybe Nick Saban is just done coaching. Maybe he just wants to sit back and enjoy the rest of his life like the majority of people would do when you're 72 years old. You're at the top of your profession. You have nothing else to prove because he doesn't have anything else to prove. I just think, you know what? I'm just tired of it. I think that's what Nick Saban did. I think he left at the absolute best time for him. He left the program in good shape. Good for you, Nick Saban. Like I said, greatest college football coach ever. Congratulations.